right, hey guys, let's go ahead and get going. Thank you so much for hopping on. As Jeff mentioned in his chat, lots of wicked weather coming our way. I was actually supposed to teach this weekend, but it officially got canceled, which is good for me because it's about a 30-mile drive one way across all sorts of highway. So I am grateful. So I'm just going to hunker down and stay warm. So I hope you all do the same. So before we get into the content for today, just a couple of reminders. Next Tuesday from 12 to 4 Central and next Wednesday 12 to 4. I'll be teaching Legal 1 Tuesday, Legal 2 Wednesday. If you haven't had a chance to sign up, just send me an email and I'll send you the registration link. But I have a pretty decent size group already, 15 or 16 people, maybe more than that. It's free. So if in the next 2 years you need your 8 hours of legal one and two, or maybe just four, one versus the other, that's cool too. Just, hop on, have your camera on, and you'll be sure to get your credit. To that point, still haven't gotten any updates regarding when we'll be able to offer that credit to you. But that doesn't matter. If you need those hours, you'll get them. They just won't be the next day. Okay, so just kind of bear that in mind. If you need legal one and two in the next 2 years, hop on next week. But it shouldn't be too much longer before you get the credit. So just FYI. All right. Yeah, I can send you. I'll send the entire link out to everybody after the call on how to register. All right. Today's topic is how to lead generate, 30 ways to lead generate without really kind of chasing after people and, more of an attraction-based approach. But before I did that, I had the good fortune, let me share my screen, of attending a projection kind of meeting last week. Now, this is just for DFW, but I think these points are still relevant for the rest of the state. And the gentleman that conducted this seminar works for the Texas A&M real estate division there that we have at A&M, and all he does is analyze data and project, to the best of his ability, what the future looks like. So he did a seminar last week on the housing market in general, and he went over a lot of stuff. Today's intention is to just kind of give you the Cliffs Notes version. But at the end, what we're really looking to get is kind of what his prediction was for 2026. So he did not have December numbers yet because this just happened last week. So there's a bit of a delay. But if you take a look at where we've been, which is, let's kind of start there. These total numbers reflect that. Number of home sales have gone up marginally over the past couple of years. And this is typically, this bottom graph, the seasonality of our business. So from 1990 to present day, these are when most of the closings happen by month. Now, mind you, if we are pretty much going off of a 30-day close, then those contracts were written a month before these data points. You kind of start in May here with a good many of them. So they would have been put under contract in April, and then the peak is June. July surprisingly takes a dip. It doesn't surprise me, but it might surprise you guys. But the reason is because that's the only full month of summer that everybody has. So people usually take vacations during that month. And then it pops back up a little bit in August, and then will dip quite a bit in September, October, November, and it really almost starts to come back up towards the last month to month and a half of the year. So that's typically what happens. So because of the various um, Fed announcements with rate drops and things of that nature. This is kind of why the past year kind of ended up like it did. So 24 was pretty congruent with that prior graph. 25 was even more so. Um, but again, he didn't have December's numbers, but it just kind of fell off the cliff. Um, unlike it has in prior years in 25, beginning in October. Um, and so, that being said, I want you all as realtors to understand that the Fed rates do not mirror mortgage rates. Okay, so whenever you hear that the Fed is going to drop the rate by X amount, it really does not have any correlation with mortgage rates, as you can see from this graph here. Okay. Um, what it does mirror are the 10-year treasury bills, which are bonds. All right. And if you've ever heard Stephen on any of these calls, he will tell you the exact same thing. So what I've taken to do is because he suggested, and I think it's a good suggestion, I looked up just a website that tracks T-bills and the bond market because that's going to give me a better indication of where mortgage rates are heading. So typically, the lower the more the bond rate is, the lower the mortgage rate will be. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you can use as a talking point. Because you might be asking, well, that's great, but how much does it have to fall before it impacts anything? And I'll be honest with you, what I found is that it really has to drop, 3/4 of a point to an entire point before it really matters. And it's at four something right now. Okay. So um, it's great to follow the bond market, but just keep in mind that it has to drop pretty drastically to impact anything. But that's not what ever makes the news, is it? What makes the news is the Fed's going to lower rates. The Fed's going to lower rates. Well, it doesn't matter if the Fed lowers rates or not for our industry. It's all about the bond market. Okay. So that was one point he made. Um, yeah, watch the 10-year treasury, not the funds rate. Active home listings. So you can kind of see where we've been from 23 to 24 to 25. They've gone up, right? So more people are wanting to sell their home. Gosh, be careful what you wish for because for years there was an inventory problem. And there kind of sort of still is, but based on these numbers, it's actually getting better. Right. So one of the points that he made was that although active listings have increased since, let's just say from 2011 to 2024, so has our population. And so, in 2011, the population here in North Texas was 6.5 million people. Well, today it's 8.3, probably 8.4. And so it's not a surprise to me, nor was it to him, that there are just more listings. There's just more people here, right? And not by a little, by a lot, right? So I'm not sure if that is, as a salient point as it was a couple of years ago. Um, all right, so months of inventory. That hasn't changed a whole lot. I don't know if it means a whole lot either. I mean, what's a balanced market? A lot of us could argue that it's a buyer's market right now. I mean, but what does that mean? Does that mean sellers don't have leverage? Not really. But are there more listings to buyers? Yeah, probably. But the amount of months of inventory could be four, it could be six. I mean, you guys know just by being out there. What the market is doing. Now, let's talk about price. So, you can kind of see how price has gone down. Now, listen, even though he captured it starting in 2023. If any of you were in real estate between 2020 and 2022, you know that housing prices doubled, if not grew more than that. Was that a good thing? I guess it was if you owned a home and you were just right place, right time, and you had to sell it, you made out like a bandit. But did that overinflation of the price contribute to the situation we're in today, which means affordability? I think you could argue that it did, right? And so that being said, we're starting to see that correction, and I think that's a good thing. So in 2023, the average price was 519,000. It dipped in 24 to 516 and really took a dip in 2025 to just under 505. All right. And the percentages are right here. So we are starting to see a correction. And if we are to be advocates for home ownership, this is great for buyers, right? I mean, we more or less need this to happen. Um, yeah, which is pretty much what he says here. All right, so current state of the economy, buyers are hesitant and are sitting on the sidelines. Sellers kind of feel stuck because they have a really good interest rate. And new construction, they're killing it. They got great incentives out there. People get a brand new home. They don't have to worry about a seller needing to move out. And so that's happening, right? So um, the other thing that plays into our market is inflation. And for the past 6 years, the government has taken a really close look at what the inflation rate is. Now, the Fed focuses on what's known as the core inflation rate, which means what is inflation when you strip away food and energy, because those are very volatile and they could swing this percentage in either direction. So I mean, it used to be 9% inflation, and now it's down to, high twos. So we're heading in the right direction, but unemployment is creeping up a little bit, and that is becoming concerning to the Federal Reserve. All right, and that will really determine what our monetary policy is. So here's where it gets interesting for us. Yes, as the previous slide suggested, buyers are sitting on the sidelines. We're all asking, what are you waiting for? If price what you can sell your home for keeps going up on a trend basis, if you wait any longer, you're just going to buy a more expensive house. Well, the issue is not just that from an affordability standpoint, prices have doubled in the past 4 to 6 years, but so has insurance policies, rates, and so have property taxes, right? And those are all a function of the price. Um, and with an increase in natural disasters and things of that nature in Texas, doesn't matter where you live, insurance rates have gone up because people just, insurance companies, if they are still insuring here, they're really having a tough time because there are just so many more claims. So it, two of these factors are out of our control, right? That being property taxes and insurance. So, what was his forecast for 26? He thought that unemployment will continue to rise. You'll notice that he doesn't say by how much, and he thinks that there will be a moderate recession beginning in 2026. And you kind of see here if it's going to be a soft rebound, an average rebound, or a harder rebound, right? And so that is obviously something he didn't want to commit to. But he does think that there's going to be some kind of economic uncertainty or blip this year. He predicts the average price for a home is going to be somewhere around 491,000, which is a 2% decrease from 2025. And here are the ranges that we've seen so far. Okay. Um, and then, so in summary, he is suggesting that there's going to be a price decrease by about 2.3%, total closings down a little bit over 5%. And I mean, he's suggesting that this is not necessarily a bad thing. We need to have a bit of a correction on the pricing side. And if you marry that with, a slight decrease in interest rates, well, then it's going to be off to the races again. But affordability is still an issue in the housing market. And that's not just price, it's insurance and property taxes. But I mean, here's the deal. He's not out there representing clients buying and selling homes. I will take input at this point if y'all have any. But I mean, going back to even November of 2025, I was starting to see an increase in activity. And here's how I benchmark that. Usually we do 20, let's call it round numbers, 20 closings in December. We did 35. And those aren't leases. Those are sales, buyers and sellers. I am getting a ton more calls on a daily basis from agents that are just busier. Our lender, Steven Jackson, says that the same thing. For whatever reason, things are starting to pick up. Um, and so I don't know if y'all are kind of getting that sense, but and I don't not believe this guy. I believe that when the year ends, we'll probably be close to what he's suggesting, right? But at least right now, I don't see it. And people are moving all day, every day, every month of the year. So, the degree to which people are moving obviously changes from year to year. But I mean, I think there's momentum heading into this year. I don't know about y'all. Anybody have any input on that? No. Okay. Well, that's cool too. All right. So, to move into what I had planned for us today, um, the topic today is 30 ways to lead generate without cold calling. So, if you know anything about yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tammy and Val. Starting to see more momentum, starting to see more buyers. Yep. I mean, I'll take interest. I don't care about closings. I mean, momentum and interest will lead to closings. And I mean, you could argue that all of 23 and 24, we didn't even see that. So I appreciate that feedback. I'm seeing the same thing. So if you know anything about me, you will know. Thanks, Bliss. Sellers are starting to pop up too. You will know that I advocate way more for attracting clients than I do chasing after people. Because I think that a warm lead is better than a cold lead, and I think it's better to have people come to you. So that's kind of what the spirit of today's discussion is going to be about. So here's the agenda. Introduction, importance of all this. I'm going to break this out into 5 categories, and there are going to be some takeaways and some action items at the end. Some of these I'm going to spend more time on than others because I'm passionate about certain ones of these that I am not about others, but they have to resonate with you. So the objective: show how to consistently generate business using attraction-based, relationship-driven, and systemized strategies without cold calling or door knocking. Man, that sounds attractive in the middle of August. I don't have to knock on doors. That's awesome. So, lead generation, along with marketing in general, it's really all about visibility, establishing trust, building rapport, and following up. right? And I've said it before that all of what we do on the sales side is prospecting, presenting, and following up. And so what I tell my students at Champions is that you never want to be a secret agent. You want to make people aware through this visibility piece that you're out there to help them. I mean, the amount of bad information that people are inundated with today about our industry is staggering. And human nature, I included, and you included, is to seek out opinions that validate their already established opinions. Am I right? So if you think it's a bad market, if you think you can't afford a home, you're going to go seek out and accept input, regardless of the source, to validate what you're feeling. Right? There's a great article, by the way, a great article. Here, let me just go to it. This is how much I love this. On Back Agent, I found yesterday. I almost posted it, but I thought it was going to be too controversial. Hang on. Yeah. Are big investors really buying up all homes? Here's the truth. And as you can imagine, and you all know this, right? You can click on this and then just repost it out, right? Um, the reality is that this is actually not happening. This represents like 1.2% of the entire business, right? So I respect what the government's trying to do in trying to get more people into homes, but it's just interesting that the public hears a talking point like that and just thinks that it's true when it's really not, right? So the same thing, whoops, the same thing kind of goes for presenting people with information that they can rely on. Okay. So all of y'all have leads and you just may not know it. But my contention is they're being under leveraged. So whenever I interview a brand new agent, I always say that, okay, you just got your license. All my training is geared towards this is your first day on the job and you just moved here because that's kind of how you feel. But then my next follow-up point is that whether you realize it or not, you either belong to a group or you're in, some social structure where you can leverage that to be able to get in front of more people than you realize, right? And so some of these things today are going to hopefully reveal that. And lastly, being consistent beats an overly complex system all day, every day. All right. So even though today's delivery is are 30 of these things, do not get overwhelmed. If you just choose one that you weren't doing before and you succeed at it, time well spent. Right? I mean, tomorrow's going to be here anyway. You might as well jump in and try something that you haven't done before anyway. So remember though, here at White Rock, you have a bunch of tools that I've prepared for you in some degree. But go to whiterocktexas.net. Password is live life, and go to our marketing tab and you will see all sorts of things that I'm going to review today already built for you. Email campaigns, newsletters, blogs, and they're all categorized by month. So if you think that this is just a bunch of baloney, but come June, you reflect back on today's session, you say, you know what, I'm going to give that a try. You can go into any one of those pre-made templates and if you start it in June, I have stuff that's relevant to the to June, to that specific month. All right. Our CRM. So if you haven't subscribed to Realty Juggler, again, it's 179 bucks a year. First 3 months are free. Use my name as a reference. You'll get an extra 2 months, and I'll rebate you your first year out of your next closing. Okay. But I do think that you need that to be successful. Canva, there is a paid version and a free version. The free version gives you a ton of stuff that you're not going to need to really pay for anyway. So don't feel like you need to spend any money. But do yourself a favor and go to YouTube and just type in Canva for beginners, and it will open up a whole new world for you. And then also on whiterocktexas.net is our on-demand training tab with instructional training modules on how to do a lot of the stuff that we're going to review today. Okay, so how to prospect without cold calling. First category is database and relationship-based leads. Now, don't worry if you don't have any past clients. You will, but past client check-in system. So this is where a lot of realtors do fall short. They don't follow up properly. And I think that the reason is because they don't deploy a system that works for them. So is it fair to um, commit to maybe a quarterly check-in or maybe half a year if you just sold them a house, right? Your CRM can do that. If you don't use the CRM, you can put this on your calendar just to remind you, okay, I need to reach out in 3 months to this person just to check in. Hey, is everything going okay? And if they vent to you and say, you know, no, not everything is okay. My plumbing broke and I've got to get a new washer. I mean, that's your chance to say, I am really sorry to hear that. I actually can recommend a good plumber for you. And I will keep my eyes open for any sales on a new washer. So, maybe you can save a couple of bucks there. Right. But I'm telling you, if I didn't go through the other 29 items that are on this list, just doing this would increase the likelihood of you getting repeat business, right? Because they're not going to reach out to you. So the ball's in your court. It has to be coming from you. Client appreciation events. So this could be as simple as a happy hour. Just send out I mean, you don't have to hand out $50 pumpkin pies on Thanksgiving. You don't have to, rent out a ballroom at a local hotel. Think and start small. It could be a casual invite to all of your, I don't know, past 5, 10, 15, 20 clients and just say, hey, if you're interested, and this is where Canva comes into play, go make a flyer in Canva and say, hey, if you're interested, I'm meeting a couple of friends and past clients at XYZ location. Would love to catch up. First drink is on me, or first appetizer is on me. That is a big deal. A lot of agents know that they have to do these things, but they get overwhelmed with thinking they have to start big, and don't realize that, hey, I know going in that I'll invite 20 people and maybe two will show up. That's awesome. That's two more people that, will continue to refer people to you. Annual home value updates. Right? And this goes for not just people that you've done business for, but think of your neighborhood. All right? Go out your front door, look to your left, look to your right, look across the street, left, right, a ton of possible leads for you, right? And if you go into RPR or even your local MLS, you can provide these kinds of market updates. Now, I know this one says annual home value, and that's important too. You can get that out of RPR, and it looks really cool. And don't skimp. Don't print it in black and white. If you're going to do, a couple of these, bear the expense of printing this in color because it looks really nice from RPR. Send that to them. Home anniversary messages. So I have popped up an example of a contact in Realty Juggler. Okay. And again, this is the one that I would recommend getting, 179 bucks a year. And you see it actually has a, um, a space here for closing anniversary or anything, birthday, their wedding anniversary. And you can see the various things, right? And you can add another one here if you had another one to add in, right? So don't, if you went to our end of the year awards dinner, or I think that week I also mentioned this. This is the week of collaboration, or year of collaboration. Don't, if there's a system out there that can do this for you and send you an email when someone's home anniversary is, do that, right? I would take advantage of these different tools that you have. But it's real easy um, to make that happen on the home anniversary side. So that's one way to get leads, and you can incorporate that, hey, happy anniversary on your, or happy home anniversary, whatever you want to call it. Hope you're enjoying your new home. As you know, I work by referrals. If you know anybody else that's looking to buy or sell a home, I mean, don't be afraid to be direct. I mean, this is just the excuse to reach out. I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking for referrals, so don't be afraid to just gently ask. Birthday and life event outreach. And so you can use Realty Juggler for that as well. But here's the metric. Every closing that you have should net between 4 to 5, if not more, referrals, right? So I would also leverage social media to figure out when these different life events are happening. So, if you forget that it's one of your clients' birthday, hopefully you are connected with them on social media and their birthday pops up automatically. Or you see a post that they just bought a new car or they just got a new pet, whatever it is. I mean, you've got to dig sometimes, right? So, but I just want you to know that this pays off, because every closing, assuming they have had a positive experience and you follow up, is going to net 4 to 5 referrals, 4 to 5 leads. They may not pan out to be closings, but I mean, you want the phone to ring. And then, who do you know that is thinking of moving? And you could incorporate that just in general emails or texts. And so this would be a departure from everything else that we've talked about so far. So this would fall under the category of, in my opinion, if you didn't know what to do or why you're doing it, just start texting past clients or neighbors or people that you know and just say, this time of year, business is kind of slow. People start to think about making a move in real estate in the next couple of months. Do you know anybody who is thinking of buying or selling a home? All right, and then vendor partner cross referrals. So I do think this is a bit of a gold mine. So here I'm more or less talking about not local businesses. I'm going to get to that in a second, but people that have one commonality with you, and that is y'all are sharing the same client. So who would that be? Lenders, title companies, insurance agents, plumbers, electricians, HVAC people, that's already six, and there's about six or 60 more. Anybody whose business it is to be in someone's home as their core business is someone you should strike up a relationship with. Okay. So, because they're all jockeying for the same business and they all have websites you can cross refer on, and, put your link on their website, their link on your website. How you refer business back and forth will evolve. Now, you can't violate RESPA, right? So you can't get paid for it. But, um, but their approach to prospecting for business is very similar to yours. So why not leverage that? Okay. And then if you're not engaged with your sphere of influence or people that you've done business with before on social media, you probably should be, because it gives you a window into other aspects of their life that you can be there for them, right? Good and bad. If they got a new pet, congratulations. If they've had a pet for 14 years and they've suddenly passed away, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'm a big fan of handwritten notes. So this is a great, great way to do that. Now, here's the trick though. You're going to have to change your mindset, because if you're like me, if you wake up at 3 in the morning and you can't sleep and you start scrolling, you're not thinking about writing handwritten notes to people based on what you see. So you are going to have to slow it down and realize that there is a gold mine in social media if you connect to people that you're looking to do business with. Okay. And here are some things that you can post that are very, very purposeful, right? The end result is going to be pure engagement. If you and some, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of these too. If you could change one thing about your current home, what would it be? What's more important to you right now, monthly payment or location? Would you rather buy a home that's move-in ready or one you can customize over time? What's holding you back from buying right now? Price, uncertainty, or timing? If the quote unquote right home popped up this week, would you be ready to make a move? Here's why all this is important, by the way. There are going to be plenty of people that see those things but don't reply. But the good news is there are going to be people that reply. That's where the gold is, right? So on some level, they felt compelled to respond to this post. They may or may not be motivated, but hear me when I say this. We are not in business where the end goal is closings. I know that's a shock. We are in business where the end result is to get the phone to ring because I have full confidence in all of y'all that if your phone would just ring more, you would know what to do with that demand. Amen? Exactly. So the people that respond are people that are on some level, perhaps, um, thinking about something in real estate. The second reason why this is important is that some of these questions are indicators to you as to what is in people's minds right now, right? So if you get feedback on would you rather buy a home that's move-in ready or one you can customize over time, add up all the responses that say move-in ready versus I want a fixer-upper. That will give you a finger on the pulse of what people are thinking, right? So I think it's interesting, an interesting exercise. Other things, if you sold your home today, where would you move? Because that was a very important question from 2020 to 2022. Because the answer was, I have no earthly idea. I just know that I can cash out and make a bunch of money. But where I want to move next, I don't know. Have you ever wondered what your home would actually sell for in this market? This has got to be top of mind. Gotta be, because home values have decreased a little bit. What would actually, what would make selling your home feel worth it right now? Would you list your home if you could still stay in your neighborhood? What's your biggest concern about selling? And you give some examples, timing, repairs, finding your next place, and so on. So those are all, I'm going to send this out too, so you don't have to worry about taking a picture of the slide. So, local community and visibility. This is a big one. Hosting educational buyer or seller workshops. I mean, people feel hopeless right now, especially first-time home buyers. They don't feel like they can get into a home, renters especially. And so it doesn't have to be in person. It could be online, right? But something where you're the expert and people have to come to you. So here's my pitch at this is the year of collaboration. Do not go at this on your own. The quickest way to success is to look at how other people have succeeded in this area and just emulate it. So, is there a lender? Would Stephen be able to do that for you? Would an insurance agent? Would a title company be able to help you uh, organize this and get people to it and market it for you? Probably, right? So don't be afraid to ask for help. Partnering with a local business. So here's kind of this is one I'm passionate about. So you don't need to drive very far to find strip centers that have, independent businesses in them. Nail salons, hardware stores, donut shops, bagel shops, um, whatever it is, that is someone's dream. Right? I'm not talking about the Schlotzskys and the Sonics of the world. I'm talking about independent businesses. And again, that is someone's dream. and they have a story to tell you, and they're dying to tell you if you just ask. So try not to get too overwhelmed with this, but if you just walked into a local business, especially if they're new, they're dying to get their story out. Do a quick, and I'm talking quick, 1 minute, maybe 2 minute video. Don't you do any of the talking. Just introduce them. This is so and so from XYZ business. He just opened 60 days ago. And so tell us a little bit about your business, how you get started, and why people should walk through your front door. I mean, they're going to vomit all over your iPhone, just dying to tell their story. All right. Once you're done, tell them you'd love to follow up. I'm a local realtor here in the area. Um, I can help drive business to you. I can help you find out, whatever you need to know about the community. Would you mind if I posted this on my Facebook page or social media? Can I tag you? Do you have a social media account? And they're gonna. Do you want me to send this to you so you can post it on your website? I mean, the possibilities are endless. And then make it a point to go in there once a month, right? And so I just think that that's one that has traction. If you want to take it to the next level, if it's the kind of business where you can set up a table every, twice a year maybe, and offer coupons to the business or something, do a giveaway, I don't know. But something that demonstrates partnership, I would do that too. Right? That's kind of the equivalent of doing an open house and waiting for people to come in. I mean, if it's a coffee shop or a donut shop or something like that, people are coming in. Again, getting your phone to ring, right? Getting your phone to ring. Sponsored community events or sports teams, I am not suggesting spending a ton of money on, your local high school's football program. I'm talking about other ways that you can get involved with maybe your HOA or just the town in general on things like that. Certain HOAs will do a quarterly or semi-annual garage sale. And so a lot of HOAs don't allow the individual homeowner to do their own. They'll do a neighborhood garage sale. Those are great for setting up a table with bottled water and whatever. Have your business cards out there. I mean, the sky's the limit. So look for those kinds of opportunities. Neighborhood Facebook group engagement, and this is not just Facebook, it could be next door. But and if your neighborhood doesn't have a Facebook group, create one. I mean, why not? Local market updates using YouTube. So Google owns YouTube, right? So this is always a favorite of mine. Um, Either market updates or top 10 reasons people are moving to Katy, Texas, Round Rock, Texas, Melissa, Texas. And especially choose towns, even if you don't live in them, towns that people are talking about. Like everyone's moving north, right? Because that's where the opportunity is. That's where the housing is. That's where the affordability is. You would be surprised how many hits you would get. Don't forget to put your contact information in there and announce that you're a realtor and you can help people. But you've gotta entitle it using good keywords, right? So that people are searching for it, right? So including the town name is going to be important. School and community involvement. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you have kids that are in school or kids that are school aged, this is a natural tie-in. Charity or nonprofit, I kind of lump this into volunteer work. You can always go to justserve.org if you are coming up empty with opportunities to volunteer somewhere. You can put in your zip code and up will pop a bunch of different opportunities. All right, next category, digital and inbound marketing. All right, so Google Business Profile Optimization, leveraging YouTube. So I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds here, but if you have a Google My Business account and a YouTube account, you're just going to naturally get business. There are some ways that you can pay to get more leads that way. But if you want to at least start somewhere. Go to Google and just type in um, how to create a Google My Business page for a realtor. Okay, and you'll be off to the races. And you can it's just like almost like a social media page actually, and you can post things, you can post um, blogs and videos and photographs and all sorts of things. All right. So the idea there, by the way, is that when people are searching for looking for a realtor near me or realtors in Round Rock, realtors in Melissa, Texas, your name will come up. Okay. And then you can leverage that and tie that in with getting a Google review. Right. So reviews and testimonials are obviously key. People want to know who they're working with. They want to feel comfortable that other people have had a positive experience. So whether they do that on Google or your Facebook page, doesn't matter. Just drive people to it. And then local SEO blog posts. So this is one of these areas that I've already pre-written for you under our marketing tab. And so whether you get a free blog service or you incorporate that on your website or somewhere else, um, if you at least do that much, just know that you will never have to create the content. I've already done it. All right. So SEO is search engine optimization, which means that um, based on how it was written, um, it was written in a way where people are searching for keywords in that narrative. So just FYI. Short form videos, so reels, are shorts. Again, top reasons why people are moving to XYZ, XYZ town. So, but here is my word of caution. If you look up in Google what the age demographic is for Facebook, TikTok, I almost said MySpace. How old am I? Um, Instagram, you will typically find an age demographic that does not sync up with the same age demographic who is buying a home. So listen, I know TikTok is addictive. You're more than welcome to post videos on TikTok about real estate. Um, they're going to 20-year-olds. Okay, they're going to 20-year-olds. They are not the people typically buying a home. Now, look, if you're on there anyway and you want to throw on a real estate related video, I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. My hunch is um, that's just not the age demographic that you're going to get business directly from. Okay. Not saying don't do it, but YouTube is really where you're going to get business from. You could email newsletters out, right, that actually get opened. I've done those for you. So go to our marketing tab. I've got them all there for you. You just have to cut and paste, send them out. If you're on Realty Juggler, you can send them out to everybody at once. How easy is that? So, those will get done. You could do text campaigns, right? Now, if you want to buy a texting service to do it for you, that's cool. I find that those tend to get spammy. So, if you want to take, maybe your top 10 hot clients that are ready to make a move now or in the next, 6 to 8 months, maybe text those folks. But I would not do just a blind text campaign to people that aren't qualified yet. All right, and then kind of a 2.0 is you could create landing pages for buyers and sellers so that that when people click on them, you can collect their information. You can build these in Canva. I have a page on our website called Lead Magnets, and so if you want to, the idea of a landing page is to get people to click on them to get something. So what are they getting? Well, a buyer guide, a seller guide. They could ask for if they're looking to sell their home, what their home's worth, that type of deal. Those are all on our website. And if you need help starting to build those pages, I can help you with that. Okay? And then retargeting ads, that's going to cost some money. That means that, you ever wonder why you were searching for a treadmill on Amazon? and then you go onto Facebook and you start seeing ads for treadmills, those are retargeting ads, right? And so wherever you go on the internet is not private. And whenever you go somewhere else online, up will pop these ads that they think speak to your interest. Okay, so you can do that. They cost money, but you can do that too. Listing and transaction based leads. So open houses. I mean, again, it's just like going into a business and doing that video. Just open up a door, and wait for people to come in, and what you decide to do with those folks once they get there is up to you. But it is the best mechanism to get your phone to ring for buyers. Host open houses. You could do just listed, just sold postcards or post it on social media. Um, if you have listings, I would strongly suggest you put a QR code on that sign that goes to, if you have your own website, have it go to there, or have it go to the listing on our website. Okay, now the end goal is for them to get to you. And hopefully, obviously, your sign is going to have your email and your phone number, but the QR code keeps them engaged. So if it were me, I would have the QR code go to my website. I wouldn't have it go to the brokerages. I mean, you want to, once they click on that QR code or capture it with their phone, you want them, right? Um, okay. All right, you could do buyer consultation follow-up strategy. So if you're talking to a new buyer, it's obvious that they want to go buy a home. Why would you not ask them, well, who else do you know that might need to go buy a home or list a home or lease a home, right? Post-closing referral system. So all this means is that once you get past closing, that's also a great time to ask them, do you know anybody else who's looking to buy or sell? And then it wouldn't be a lead generation seminar without me mentioning expired. So this is low-hanging fruit. They've already raised their hand and said they want to sell their home. Um, I have an entire mail campaign on our website and just general training system on how to capture these guys. Okay. And then the last one is a brief one, and that is whenever you can refocus into a niche, you're going to naturally get business. So that could be I only work with first-time home buyers. I only work with investors. I specialize in military or senior citizens or first responders or teachers, right? And so once you become known as the go-to person in that specific niche, over time, business will just naturally come to you, right? Especially if it's unique. I mean, if it, because when I think of first responders and teachers, there are lending programs, there are loan programs out there for those folks. And so all it takes is one teacher to say, oh, yeah, I used XYZ Realtor. She really knows what's out there for teachers. I really would call her first. And that's what you want. Okay. All right. And if you need any help in any of the things that we reviewed today, um, reach out to me and we can get you some coaching. But category number 5 is the ultimate attraction strategy, for all the reasons that I mentioned. All right. So as a next step, I would pick 3 of these and focus on them for the next 30 days. Just try them out and see if it's leading anywhere. And if you feel like it's not, before you give up, please call me. And so I can understand what you did and what you thought didn't work, what you thought maybe did work. Um, and I can help you because I've seen it all. All right. Schedule them on your calendar immediately and obviously track. Did you do them? Did you not do them? How did it work out? All right. All right. So that was all I had for prospecting on a very low key basis. So anybody have any input or questions? No? All right. Well, I hope you found the session helpful. I will send out this PowerPoint deck because there were some things on that social media piece that I think you'll want to take away. And I will send you the presentation I did before we went into this, which was the um, gentleman that held the seminar last week about what his sense of 2026 was going to look like. Um, and hopefully that'll help you too. So anyway, thank you all for hopping on. Next week, I do plan to do a CE class, so you get some credit there. But more to come on that. And have a good week. Have a safe weekend. Stay safe and warm, and we will see you next Thursday. Always appreciate you. You guys take care.